The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And it's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston sports media personality John Mallory.
Okay, it's just Derek. Oh, there's not just Derek. It's all of these guys. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my friend and co-host, top right with the Brooklyn Dodgers hat on, the man with the biggest head in the Merrimack Valley, John Mallory.
Literally and figuratively.
That's correct. Our guest host, who has been part of the family for a number of years, Derek Grady from Heritage Auction, and the big kahunas from the National Sports Collectors Convention. These are the guys that call the shots, pretty much, right, John? Would you admit that?
It's like a who's who of the national. It's the only people you really need to talk about to know everything.
You need to know where the men's room is. You ask these guys.
I feel like
where the hot dog stand is. You ask these guys.
I feel like Ed McMahon. Everything you need to know about the Nationals with these guys.
Joe Drelich. Just can't say enough about Joe. And Joe's Brian Copolla, Jimmy Ryan, and the communications director for all of this, Shane Winn from the National. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be fun. Joe, we're going to start with you right out. Oh, no, actually, we're not going to start with you. We're going to start with JM because we have been reading for the last, month? We've been doing a little PSA for you guys regarding a great event that you guys are putting on. JM, run with it, bro.
Well, collectors and sports fans, this one's for you. The National Sports Collectors Convention is teaming up with hobbyists like you to support Make-A-Wish Illinois and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital through the 2025 Card Fundraising Sweepstakes. And it's your chance to win big for a great cause. Iconic prizes are up for grabs, like a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle graded SGC 5, a 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan PSA 9, and an incredible original painting by sports artist Murray Henderson titled Chicago Sports Legends. Here's how it works. Donate just $25 to enter, and yes, you can enter up to 40 times. The more you give, the more chances you have to win. And 100% of the proceeds are split evenly between St. Jude and Make-A-Wish Illinois. Winners will be drawn on August 6th, and all items will be on display at the 45th National Sports Collectors Convention. Don't wait. Head to nsccshow.com/card-fundraising-sweepstakes to enter today. That's nsccshow.com/card-fundraising-sweepstakes. Collect, give back, and win big.
All right, so I got a question right out of the gate for Derek. Derek, 51 Mantle, graded in SGC 5. What's the value, approximately? If you had to venture a guess.
Am I VCP in it? We VCP everything. I can't just.
I mean, is it a $75,000-$80,000 card? Easy,
no,
right?
Not in a 5. Come on.
Because I'm trying to figure out how many combinations I should buy to win that card at $25 a pop.
You just buy a bunch. It's for charity.
Well,
with your money,
I'm gonna
I'd burn my money if I had your money. Come on.
You can enter 40 times, you cheapskate. Just do it.
There you go. I'm going to consider doing something. 40 times may be a little much.
You know, you're always yapping. You're always going, oh, I sold this. Oh, my God. I got a veranda here and a lake here and a
you are so full of
cheap
crap.
Cigar butt over there. And put your money where your mouth is, brother.
Oh, man. All right. So let's talk to these guys. Oh, by the way, before you guys, and Shane, you don't know this, but after the second break, we have our GAX, which is Great American Collectibles Show, AI NBA all-time tourney, powered by Danny, the basketball savant, and sponsored by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles. And remember this: if you have a bitch about the tournament, don't call us, call them. Fair enough. All right, let's get to our fellow the national guys here. Joe, we're going to start with you. Can you give us kind of an overview of just the footprint of the national?
Yeah, but first thing I'm going to say is the mantel's about 30,000. That's
30 grand. Thank you. All right, so I got to do some
put that to bed just so we understand. And just to spend 30 seconds, the Jordan PSA 9 is a beautiful card, well centered. You're talking 20 to 25,000, and the third item is a wonderful painting donated by Murray Henderson, one of our corporate vendors who's been there. It's a eclectic painting of the Chicago sports scene in New York City, valued at 15,000. I appreciate you guys doing the spot, but this is something we're really passionate about. Last year we started it with a 44 item auction. We raised almost $40,000 this year. We're trying to get to triple digits and get to 100,000. So to Derek's point, for 20 or 25 bucks, there's a lot worse things you could do with 20 or 25 bucks than walk away with a 51 Bowman mantle, 86.
You know something, and I couldn't agree with you more. I do have a question though. As far as entering, can you enter the contest there at the National?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And the items will be on display as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Mallory, I'm going to cough. You're going to cough up a couple hundred that I'm going to bring with me. Same thing with Petroselli, a couple hundred each.
I'll do that.
Yeah, and then we'll buy some.
Yeah, and 100% of the money goes. The National supplied all the items, and 100% of the money goes direct to the charities. There's no take back of any kind. So we really appreciate you guys doing that, and appreciate everybody.
Whatever we can do to help. So 650. Yeah,
footprint now.
I mean, it's just massive. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The building's 1 million square feet, and we were about 450,000 last year. To put it in perspective, this year we're going to be using about 650,000 square feet, so about a 30% increase over last year's alone, with still some room to grow. So, really excited about that for a lot of different reasons. That we've added tables, we've added another level to the show. Jimmy and Brian can certainly chime in on that. We've all collaborated together and worked hard to bring that to fruition. The 75 new vendor tables up in Hall G are really excited about. So yeah, footprint is massive. A lot of our regular community is familiar with the building because we're in Chicago every other year. But for those who aren't, you'll have a lot of space. And one thing I want to touch on too is I know 2 years ago there was some issues with the air conditioning. We had a heat wave, 100-degree heat wave, but in the process of that, the building has replaced almost every unit in the building. It was naturally being done anyway, but it just so happens that just to put that word out there early, that the building's in fantastic shape. So
it's funny you mentioned that, because at that, I remember when Derek came up on stage, he had a thong on. Because it was so warm, but
just remember who started. Just remember,
we got through that.
Zap started.
And there goes the train off the tracks.
Hold on. Sam, did you have a question?
What color was Derek's thong?
Yeah, nobody remembers.
My first question, was it fluorescent? I don't remember. That's why I don't go anymore, Joe. That's why I don't go anymore. Yeah. When you're talking about the floor space and the square footage, and all you guys can chime in on this, by the way, how difficult is that balance between getting all the vendors in that want to be there and giving them the space they need and want, and also balancing that with foot traffic and making it a fan-friendly and participant-friendly experience for people walking around in there? Anyone can jump in on that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim. As far as the vendors, the dealers, they pick their booths a year in advance for the show. So it's set up by a priority system. Every national you've done, you get a priority. So you can have up to this year, it'll be a priority 45 for the handful of people who have done all the nationals from beginning to current. And then their space is picked out this year for next year. So the floor plan is set for that. When it comes, and I'll let Joe talk about this later on. When it comes to the corporate side, corporate space is set out, and they pick their floor space through the year. as far as negotiating around the floor as a customer, we have a Ludix interactive map that is online that you can download to your phone, and you can use that to get around the show. There's also options to search by different items you're looking for, like old cards, new cards, autographs, categories.
That's outstanding. That's great. That's
I'll tell you,
down to the level of finding a 1987 or whatever, but it's at least by categories.
Right.
I mean, the interactive map. I went online yesterday. I mean, I'm telling you that thing is gold. It's really gold. But Shane, I've got a question for you. You're the communications director. What is your role and throughout this whole event and leading up to it?
Yeah, I mean it's a big role for sure at the event. So I'm basically helping all of the media who are coming to this event navigate the space and get what they need out of it, and make sure that the National is able to tell a really cohesive story about its 45th year, the history, things that are going on the floor that might be of interest to media. So that's one of the big responsibilities of the position. It's exciting. It's a lot of work. And I will tell you, like, the volume of media that already have requested credentials is very, very significant. You'll see a lot of media activity. We've actually got a Netflix show that's going to be filming while we're there. Wow. We've got most of Barstool Sports coming, just to give you some examples of media that people would recognize that are there. We've got some really cool stuff we're doing with Darren Ravel and Collect this year in the TriStar Pavilion that we've not done in the past. We've got some really cool activity going on the main stage from media outlets like Fansided, for example. So I'm excited to get there. It's a lot of work in the run-up, but I've got three really great bosses here with me today who give me a lot of support. So I'm excited to get there.
It's nice. It's nice, Shane. It's nice to have support of the people you work with, isn't it? That must be nice.
Yeah.
That must be great.
Just let that go right over your head. Yeah. By the way, we are.
John, we're hiring. John, we're hiring.
We're going to be broadcasting. You guys, this is what they call a tough room. By the way, we are going to be broadcasting from the main stage on Friday from 1 to 3. Looking forward to it. Derek, I want to ask you. I mean, the Heritage booth. It's really not a booth. It's a heritage museum. It's just an incredible centerpiece for all of the auction houses, in my opinion. Last year, I mean, you guys outdid yourself. Can you talk to us about what it's going to be looking like this year?
After last year, I mean, we're going to put together another amazing booth with some incredible jerseys and bats and cards and Type 1 photos, and it's going to be an eclectic offering again, because this is our big event where we really, a lot of competitors came up to us and said, you have the best booth in the nation. And we had the Called Shot jersey in our booth, the Jackie jersey in our booth. I mean, it was a $63 million auction. It's a hobby record. And, I don't feel like we're failing to go put out a $40 million auction. It's going to be an incredible. We have a Mantle photo match jersey to the 60 All-Star game, multiple photo matches, all original. We've got, this crazy logo man Jordan Kobe card that's supposed to be the most expensive modern card in the hobby. Estimate $6 million on that. There's several, Herpelsheimer Ruth rookie. It just goes on and on and on, and it will all be on display, at least everything over, $5,000, and we'll make it look like a museum again. And last time, I believe this time also, our entertainment department will be there. I mean, we obviously had the Clippers on display, so they'll have movie memorabilia or, everything that they sell. It's going to be a great space. And the way we designed it last year, we had couches, people can come in, sit down, relax, go over things. We had some giveaways. So it's really a coming out party for us where we go all in on the National.
Well, one thing you guys did last year, which was really impressive, was you mentioned there were lounges, couches, kind of like all over the place. and there was no pressure. If someone was just walking by and wanted to sit for a few minutes, no pressure, sit down. There was, nothing that they had to do or commit to. It was just relaxation. You guys
We're
did a
not
nice
desperate
job.
like some of our competitors, so we don't have to do that. You guys missed that joke, I guess. But anyway,
don't forget about the Secret Service, those secret men in black that you guys have everywhere.
Oh God,
we have guards everywhere.
What about the big giant Power Rangers? Are they coming?
Those are all the guys from. Yeah, I mean,
every time they see me, they're sticking. They're like, "Who the hell are you? You don't look like you."
These are I call them the Bronx Tail guys.
Yeah, exactly.
They're great.
All of them.
These are the guys from the New Jersey
and
office.
They also,
right.
They also help out. I think
North
you guys,
Jersey.
you national promoters can attest. Our guards work with the overnight guards, and they work together as a team to keep it all. Say, look, this is going to be, more people than ever, right? Yeah. So that brings out more bad actors than ever, right? And these guys know that, and I'm sure there'll be a drone probably flying overhead like there was last year. And, there's lots of guards on the floor. There's going to be, I'm sure, people in plain clothes. So, we have our stuff under glass and locked up, but we pull it out for display.
Let's talk about that.
I was going to say, it's a good segue into security.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
let's talk. Joe, I'd like you to address this. Last year, I think you guys did a hell of a job. Listen, security is security, and there's about 8 different ways that unsavory characters can breach things. You guys really did a hell of a job last year with security, with cameras, with security guards. Can you talk about that a little bit? And, people have asked, hey, how's the security going to be this year?
I mean, I'm going to let Jimmy and Brian jump in here as well. But, I'm glad to hear that you guys were impressed with last year. But I can tell you this year, it's like 3X last year. So if you were impressed last year, you're going to be blown away this year. We have every base covered. I mean, I'm talking about we almost have like military there at this point this year. And it really is just to Derek's point, right? Massive crowds require massive action, right? Preventative action and sending a clear message and letting people know that this is an environment where we want everyone to be safe and have a great time and be able to have their beautiful, really expensive items out on display and feel safe, walking around the area. So we take that incredibly serious, and Derek's right. Last year, a lot of people didn't know that. So Derek pointed that out. We put a drone in the building, and we initially a fast story, 2 funny stories. We had the drone hovering over the main entrance as the show was opening. We forgot to let the building security know that the drone was in the building.
So they shot it down with a Patriot missile
out of the air when the show opened. The show opened and thousands of people were coming, and he reached up and swatted the drone out of the air.
Wow!
This is stories never been told before. I mean, it was aggravating and hilarious at the same time. It was unbelievable. But anyway,
so much for show coverage.
Yeah. Point being, a lot of the dealers were initially annoyed at the drone. We got some complaints about it. We had to address it with some superior people in our environment. And once we explained to them that no, this is primarily for security, everybody understood where we were at. So and that actually that piece of it came into play big time. So I'll step back and let Jimmy and Brian jump in here.
Brian, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, the line items that we have associated around security in the detail and the meetings and the amount of staff that are going to be on site, it's pages. I don't want to spill all the beans on it, but just a great deal of enforcement is going to be there, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, we're going to need bodies. I mean, we're going to need bodies and brains and smart people and undercover and, all the things. I mean, this is the Super Bowl of sports card shows.
Exactly.
Just millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff on display. So we're not taking this lightly, and we're doing our very, very best to address it in all different manners.
Jimmy?
The one thing I guess I can add to that is, without giving too much away, like Brian said, is that we have expanded the hours of security. So what I mean by that is we've expanded the hours of incoming for dealers and exiting for dealers too. So security hours have expanded a lot too. So not only by amount of security, but the length of security also too.
Awesome.
Yeah, the building is also equipped with over 240 cameras in the system that are there already, and that's a monitored room 24 hours a day. That's there. And then the boots on the ground piece, we're a little bit more than 3x that we were last year. So again, like I said, if you were impressed last year, this year you'll just everywhere you turn, you're going to see some level of security.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's the GAX AI NBA all-time tourney. Just a little synopsis read by this gentleman right here. We are visiting with Joe Drelich, Shane Winn, Jimmy Ryan, and Brian Copolla, excuse me, of the National. They're here for the whole hour. If you have any questions, you can comment them in when you're watching the show. Obviously, we're taping right now. But I answer. I unlike Petroselli and unlike Mallory, when this show is airing live, I am there manning the computer, chatting with our viewers.
Well, Rico and I don't need to look at our performances. We know they were great. You need the work. You need to do that.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and we are with the Brain Trust of the National Sports Collectors Convention. Our good buddy, Derek Grady, Executive Vice President of Heritage Auctions, and a pretty good-looking guy, actually. Derek, you are good-looking.
No question.
You really are. All right.
I mean, look at the national guys. I mean, come on.
That's a good point. All right, listen, it is time right now. This is very exciting. For the GAX AI NBA all-time tourney.
Everybody hold your breath.
I can sense Derek's excitement about this.
This is the GAX. You can make light of this if
baseball was torturous. Now let's see how we deal with the basketball. This is the time to go get your popcorn.
And by the way, for you guys, when we did the baseball tournament, the 1929 Yankees wound up 27 Yankees wound up defeating the 1939 Yankees. It was a good game. All right, so this is the GAX AI NBA all-time tourney.
It was a fake game, though.
Totally fake.
It was a simulated game. Okay, just so you guys know.
It was a fake game.
It's fiction.
AI.
It's AI generated, you knucklehead.
Yeah, that's fake.
That's fiction. Yeah.
Right. I understand.
You know, like when a basketball team from the 60s who didn't even know a three-point line existed plays a team from the 2000s when they're all shooting three.
It's normal. Yeah, exactly.
I'm begging you to take me. All right, so it's time for the GAX AI NBA all-time tourney powered by Danny the Basketball Savant and sponsored by our good friend Paul Borges at PB Collectibles. Again, if you have a bitch, don't call us. Call Danny or Paul because I don't want to hear it. All right, this week's game is the Week 4 game between the number 4 1986-87 LA Lakers against the number 13 1982-83 Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, just a quick synopsis. Both the 86 and 87 LA Lakers and 82-83 Philly 76ers were dominant championship-winning teams. The Showtime offense, talking about the Lakers. The Lakers team was renowned for its fast-paced, high-scoring offense led by Irvin Magic Johnson. They averaged 117 points per game, ranking second in the league. They had depth and talent. They boasted 4 players averaging over 17 points a game. Magic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, and Byron Scott, along with solid contributions from Michael Cooper and A.C. Green. Magic and Kareem's dominance, the combination of the two really made it difficult because Jabbar's post-scoring and experience obviously was a major factor for the Lakers. Now for the Sixers. The Sixers had a remarkable 12-1 postseason record, culminating in a sweep of the Lakers in the NBA Finals. Moses Malone was the MVP, and he was a dominant force, winning the MVP that season and leading the league in rebounding. And he posed a significant challenge for Kareem. Talented roster included Dr. J. Julius Erving, Andrew Toney, and Maurice Cheeks. The center matchup between Kareem and Moses would be a key factor in the game. Here is the conclusion. While both teams were incredibly talented and successful, the 1982-83 Sixers likely had the edge in a hypothetical matchup. Their dominant playoff performance, especially their sweep of the Lakers that year, speaks volumes about their superiority in that specific season. Moses Malone's dominance was a significant challenge for the Lakers, and the Sixers' overall balance of star power and supporting cast proved too much for the Lakers to overcome. Both the 1986-87 LA Lakers and the 82-83 Philadelphia Sixers were dominant championship-winning teams. However, as we know now, the 76ers were a little more dominant and the Lakers the Sixers were a little more dominant and won the game 116 to 110, John, which was actually you
Close
called
game.
a close game. You called a close game.
That's an upset. That's an upset in the rankings, though. Number 13 beating number 4 there.
That
That's
is
pretty good.
correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. So
Yeah.
the Sixers win. What are your thoughts, real quickly, on that, guys? Sixers or Lakers?
Well, let me
Sixers.
welcome back the crowd that left while you were doing that. And welcome to you guys for the show.
Moses Malone was the difference.
I think
on
so.
That Sixers team couldn't win anything since they lost to Portland, and they had the same group of guys pretty much. Don't forget Bobby Jones, great player. But when they got Moses, I mean, let's face it, they had Caldwell Jones as a center. When they got Moses Malone, that's what put them over the top. The problem was by the time that happened, they were getting a little older, and then the Celtics reloaded, getting DJ and everyone, Dennis Johnson. So it was like a one-year thing for the Sixers. But if I had
I'll
to,
tell you something, though,
for
Joe,
a Celtics fan, this is like choosing between rickets and scurvy, for the Sixers or the Lakers. But if I had to root, I'm happy the Sixers won.
Well, you know something, Joe D, you made a comment before we came on the air about Andrew Toney, and Andrew Toney really played a significant part on that team.
Yeah,
he was a real pain in the neck to the opponents. But anyway, so that is the results of this week's game. All right, let's get back to the guys at the National. Trade nights. Let's talk about trade nights. Who wants to chirp in on that?
Jim, go for it.
All right, so trade nights is going to be 3 nights again, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right after the show closes. It's located upstairs, second level in the big ballroom. No fee to get into trade night. Obviously, it's first come, first served till it fills up. But it's just you just show your wristband from the day, and you're allowed into trade night.
Now,
trade night section is trade night is broken down into sections. Example, like a vintage card section, a new card section, a ticket section, wrestling section. It's broken down into sections to try to get multiple people to come to see multiple things, and also expose them to something maybe they're not used to ever seeing before. The idea behind the trade night last year was that the National wanted to bring the trade night in-house. There were trade nights happening all over the place at all different little hotels. So last year we brought it in-house. We worked out of we'll call it a lower level last year. And this year it's going to be in a nice big ballroom upstairs. A lot of activations, a lot of sponsorships, giveaways. It's be a fun time. It's a fun, nice end of the day after the show.
Very cool.
We'll want to get another 4
A lot of people look forward to that. I want to ask Shane. Shane, can you talk a little bit about the Curtis Granderson Youth Collector Club's initiative that's going to be taking place?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Tom. So we're really excited about this. We just launched this last Thursday in Chicago with Curtis Granderson at Curtis Granderson Stadium at the University of Illinois, Chicago. So for those not familiar with Curtis Granderson, he was born and raised in Chicago. He played ball at UIC. He got drafted into MLB, played for the Yankees, Detroit, Mets, like on and on and on. Had a very storied career. He's retired now. And he created an organization called the Chicago Baseball and Educational Academy. He runs it out of UIC, and the mission of that organization is to use the game of baseball as kind of a carrot, an exciting carrot, to introduce high school age kids to potential career paths, get them excited about a college environment, get them onto UIC's campus, etc. So they're a community organization. We've known Curtis a long time. Meanwhile, the National, really is the vanguard, I would say, of this hobby, right? Like there is no bigger entity that is supporting the growth of the dealer base and the collector base, and really felt like being in Chicago for 3 years presented an opportunity for us to put some roots down. And, the National really wants to invest in the future of the hobby. And so we had this idea of using card trading as a proxy, so to speak, to teach young kids the excitement of card trading, but also some really interesting lessons, life lessons, career lessons, etc. I'll give you an example. If you think about card trading industry, it's one of the last examples we have in the United States of pretty pure capitalism, right? It's a very interesting space in that regard, and there's a lot to be learned about that. And if we can use card trading, which is fun and exciting, as a way of teaching a lesson about entrepreneurialism, about community, about trading. You think about Wall Street traders, right? And some of the tactics that we use when we're trading cards apply very well on Wall Street. So we had this idea. We took it to Curtis, and there was clear mission alignment. Like, we're both trying to do very similar things, use sport or trading as a way of getting to kids. And so he got on board with this idea. On Thursday of last week, we launched the Youth Collector Clubs Initiative. And we did it with a good friend of ours, Samuel Evans, whom you may know, who's big in the space. He's from Philly, big trader, big content creator. But he's also a high school principal. And Samuel's been wanting to do something like this for a long time. He built us an entire curriculum that uses card trading to teach a lot of different life lessons and career lessons. And we kicked that off last Thursday at Curtis Granderson Stadium in Chicago. Got some great media from NBC. They came out to cover it. And then we're going to bring a small cadre of kids to the National who were a part of that first event and give them an immersion day where they can walk more in a guided way, really get a picture of what this hobby looks like, and hopefully instill some excitement in them. And we intend this program to become something where every time we go to a different city, we leave something like this behind. As a legacy for future collectors.
Sap, I want to throw this back to Derek a little bit from the standpoint of someone that's working for one of the, if not the largest auction house. You have great auctions throughout the year. You had a great July auction, platinum auction coming up. Where is the National? I mean, is the National the axis, on which companies like yours turn in a given business year? Where is it on your calendar, and what does it mean to your company?
Well, I mean, it's probably the only time we, just Joe knows we do his Philly shows, and Jimmy, and Brian had the White Plains shows, which we did, and the Boston, and we do all these shows, but there's nothing we do where we come out with every consignment director, all the management team, a bunch of ops people, and make this, a big heritage on display. Come meet us. You've seen us in ads. You've emailed us. You've called us. You've seen us here and there at shows. But we're all together there. The California people, the people on the East Coast, the people in the Midwest. I mean, we're all together there. And we put on. And the one thing Chris Ivy, that of the department, was he invested in the National a long time ago, as soon as he first opened, and we continue to, get a bigger space. If anything, it's not smaller. We go bigger. We do more advertising. We do the program. I'm sure if some of the other things weren't taken, we would do those as well. It's really, I think this is where you come advertise your wares, where the competition, you can show yourselves. Like, if you're an auction company that has 2 or 3 people, doesn't mean you don't do a good job, but, we're coming out with, with 30 people and what we do and why we get the Ruth jerseys and the collections we got. So yeah, it's a big to do for us, and it's a lot of, look, how many flights we have out there, and hotel rooms, and meals, and the expense that we're out there. We definitely take back millions of dollars worth of stuff. It's great for us to, think about how many people only come to one show a year, and it's the National Convention. Well, now there's more shows, so maybe people do local, but this is a major convention. There's a lot of people that go to one show a year. So we put out our best effort, So
something, Derek, you're hitting it on the head. And this is, I'm tipping my cap to you guys, because there are a lot of different shows across the country. But, I talk to people at the Boston shows, at Fenway Park, they have shows now. You guys all know that. But everybody everybody wants to go to the National. They all still go to the National. That's where they want to be, because it's really the hub of the of the collectibles world that weekend.
And I know these guys personally, and they know, I've known them all for a long time, and they know what the task is at hand,
right,
and what they need to deliver. So I think this is the right team to take it into the next generation. I mean, this hobby's grown. Oh my God. I mean, I want to say 5x, 3x since COVID. I mean, it is unbelievable. I expect there to be long lines. I think they've been out of hotel rooms now for how long? I mean, they sold out of hotel rooms a long
Ellen
time
and I
ago.
were staying in a tent on the tracks behind.
So
she's really pissed
and
at
also
me.
too, we didn't touch on one thing, which wouldn't shock me if Zap's doing the format for the show. But the TCG part of this business, what are you guys doing to address? Will there be a separate TCG area? Do you guys, when you speak to that, like, are there a lot of TCG dealers, or is it going to be mixed in throughout the show? Were you able to segment that, or what are you guys doing there?
Yeah, because of the priority system, there is no so-called like separate area at this point in time.
Okay.
I mean, we certainly recognize what's happening with TCG. I will say it's the National Sports Collectors Convention. That doesn't mean you disregard non-sports or Pokemon or TCG, but the main focus is always going to be on the sport part of it. I think it's something, a conversation that we're having about Hall G, just to touch on a couple of quick things. We were able to add 75 new tables, which would equate to 75 new dealers getting into the space. We're certainly aware of the demand from the dealer side, and we're working diligently to help fix that situation. But we are proud of a lot of things I can touch on here quickly is the National, a standard booth at the National is 10 by 15, right? And it comes with 3 tables. It's a lot of space, right? It's 150 square feet. That's a lot of space to fill up. But the National in Chicago has a 10 by 15 booth option, a 10 by 10 booth option, and now we finally have an 8-foot table option, which will really allow a couple of things. It'll allow people to more properly pick kind of what fits their ability and need for space, right? And will also in turn allow more people in, right? If you have a vendor now that has an existing 10 by 15 booth, but it's been too much for him, right? He can downsize and now let someone else into that space that is upsizing, right? So that's part one. And those 75 tables are located upstairs in Hall G. So you enter the main hall, you go up the escalator. If you haven't bought your ticket already, that's where you'll purchase your ticket, and you'll walk through the 75 new vendors to ensure that they get good foot traffic. And that's an expansion process, right? There's over 200,000 square feet upstairs for us to expand on. And that's what we're really excited about. So touching and circling back to your point, Derek, there's definitely a possibility to integrate TCG, Pokemon into that space. We have a lot of really great ideas. The Curtis Granderson initiative is an idea for us potentially up there, as well as expansion with corporate, expansion with international dealers. That's definitely something that's majorly on
Joe,
our
I
list.
was going to, it was one of my questions. I don't know if we need to go to break or anything, Zap, but
It's
it's called the National, but this really is an international event, isn't it?
For sure now, yeah. I mean,
More
we've
so than
seen
ever.
tremendous growth. Yeah, we've seen tremendous growth. We have international corporate vendors now, at this point in time. And that's one of our things too, is they would like to bring some of their top clients and customers and get them space. So there's a lot working behind the scenes, which is, our preference. As you guys know, we get asked to do a lot of shows, and we're more about actually doing the work and then talking about it after the fact, rather than
you think I've only been trying to get you on for 6 months.
It's true.
Now you got to call their people.
It's like unbelievable. Hey, Brian, I want to, before we take a break, Brian, the Breakers Pavilion has become, it's like exploded. It's become like the event within the event. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because, man, that is wildly popular.
Yeah, I mean, rippingwax.com, Dave Gelfman is, president of that company, and it's his own. It's a separate division, and they bring in all the greatest breakers, and they're coming to the show, and they're breaking live, and obviously it's part entertainment, part product buying, everything that goes along with it. but in its own entity, the visuals that you'll see, and I don't want to get into anything that he's doing because he's keeping it very, very quiet right now. But last year they came with a 300 TV projection showing all the different braking operations. I don't remember what the square footage of the wall was, but it took up one whole wall in Cleveland, and it looked like you were just at a command center, for military. It was just so far over the top, and so it's just there's nothing like this. Like you can't go to a local card show and see anything like this.
I'm telling you, there are people that I have spoken to, especially young adults, that are going specifically to go to the Breakers Pavilion. I mean,
really,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
And this is where you buy into breaks, right? This is when you say this, there you have 30 different companies that break, or I'm making up a number, and then you can watch the different packs being open live on all these screens.
All over the screen.
Wow.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have one more segment. We are visiting with all the gentlemen from the National, as well as Derek. No, Derek, you know what you mean to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't have a red cent to my name from this show, but yeah, it's great.
Try doing it every week and saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's true. Sure, building up my name, right?
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We have one more segment. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Okay, we are back, and we are visiting with Joe Drelich, Jimmy Ryan, Brian Copolla, and Shane Winn from the National Sports Collectors Convention. Before we continue on, JM, we have a new sponsor. Why don't you chat about our new friend, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency?
I'll do that, Zeb. Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired with expertise 50 years of collecting with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management. Tom covers every aspect of your collectible insurance needs. Unlike some of the companies that sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide, representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance. There is no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend, John Tubby of JT Sports, has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
All right, let's get back to our gents. Before we continue on, Joe D, how about a little shout out? I mean, listen, you 4 guys, I know you're doing a hell of a job, but I think you have some people on your staff that are kind of working pretty hard. How about a shout out to your staff?
100%. I mean, you know, we wouldn't, we literally would not be sitting here right now if it weren't for our staff and support system and everyone around us that makes this event come together. So, you know, without a doubt, I mean, we do that, you know, it's a great segue into a couple of things. we didn't get a chance to really promote last year, but we started last year a welcome party for our dealers. So this is a little shout out to our dealers that are listening and watching. You know, on Tuesday after our dealers finish setting up, they can stroll right on over to the upstairs area where the trade nights will be taking place, and we are going to have a welcome party like we did last year for everybody. That is one of our ways to show appreciation. Our staff is there as well as the board of the NSCC. So we are very grateful and blessed to have really great people around us. And, you know, we really hope that all the dealers come and say hello. It's a great opportunity and segue into the show for people to interact with each other before the craziness of the show happens. So yeah, definitely.
Good. You know, this question is for all of you, but Derek, I want to start with you. You've been in this hobby, this industry a long time. What is your assessment right now at this snapshot in time as to what the state of the hobby is?
Well, I think I've said this before on the show, and it's, you know, let's just go back to the Philly show or a Boston show. When on a Sunday you can count, you know, by 12 o'clock, the place is, you know, pretty much emptying out. There's not that many people. You can bowl a bowling ball down the aisle and not hit anybody, you know, a lot of times. And now, you know, then there's a Philly show where the Eagles are there. The Eagles have won the Super Bowl, and there's people standing in lines for autographs throughout the whole show everywhere. I mean, it was just a nut house. And then COVID, you know, happens, and the hobby, I feel like that the Jordan, what was the Jordan documentary?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
the
Last Dance.
Yeah. Everything was shut down, and everybody was watching it. Women,
right.
every you know, walk of life, right? And since that time, there's been just this hobby keeps building and building and building. Yeah, it is. You know, and then that's why I brought up TCG, because I like the fact that a lot of these people, the kids that are carrying these cases around the shows, which we never had, Joe, when we were kids collecting, right? We never had these cases, and they're pulling out $10,000 cards left and right and $5,000 TCG in it. They also have TCG, and I bet you at the trade night, and if you talk to PSA, they'll tell you 50% of their submissions is TCG or 40% is TCG. So that's a big part of this hobby, and there's a lot of people doing both. That's like, it's not just, you know, one thing, but I would say the growth, the amount of new customers, heritages signing up, the amount of new people we run into. I always used to say, so my point was with when there was not a lot of people on a Sunday at a show and you just saw the same people at every show, we weren't the cool kids. And I said, Comic-Con has something we don't have, and I can't figure that out. Now we have it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is,
yeah.
Collecting is cool. But if you think about it logically, sporting events sell out, and sports betting is crazy. How many people bet sports that you know?
And you can throw fantasy in there too.
And you can throw fantasy in there. So, but why didn't these people think collecting was cool? They left it in high school or middle school or when they were a kid.
Right.
And I always argued we're going to be cool again, because everybody that comes to my house, they can see a couple things hanging up. They're like, and it could be something that's $200. You guys know what I'm talking about. And they're like, oh my God, how do you have a signed photo of Mickey Mantle that's real? And I'm like, really? You can get them anywhere. Like, come into our hobby, go to a show. And now you're seeing this. And again, to Joe and Jay, to these guys' credit, they've built shows. They know what this was like. Like I'm describing, they lived it. Jimmy and Brian resurrected the White Plains show from its heyday.
Right.
Joe took Philly and put it on steroids. Okay. So these guys have the resume to do that with the National. And they're coming in, and it's at the right time, because there's so many people coming in. And then you talk about the International, it's going to be a madhouse. I predict.
You know
it's
something?
Getting smaller. It's only, and here's the other good news too. When people, at times where we have these blips where the market goes up, a lot of people lose money. They get their ass kicked. They escape. They blame the hobby.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that modern went up, modern went down. Those people are still in it.
Mm-hmm.
So they love it.
No doubt.
Because there's a lot of people that have made bad investments, but they don't blame the hobby or production or mass production.
Right.
And you also have fanatics doing a ton of marketing. I know, you know, is it a competing show? I don't know. Fanatics Fest did a good job. They had a lot of people there, but there's nothing that's going to supplant the national with the dealers they have and the loyalty and the expertise in that room of this hobby isn't just a modern show and throw a football around. This is what you will see there. Like these guys talked about their priority list of people that have been doing it for 45 years. Legends of the hobby are going to be at this show. There's a lot of friendly dealers that can talk to you about T206s and,
I want to ask Jimmy this question. To pick up on what you're saying, Derek. Jimmy, Derek made a point. It's become the national has become entertainment besides everything else. There's always something going on. It's like, you walk in, the lights just kill you. It's unbelievable. It's an event. What is your feeling, Jimmy? You've been in this business a zillion years. What direction is the hobby going in?
We have an old joke. We call it the largest candy store. You walk in there, the Nash is the largest candy store. But it's not only just the collectible part about it. When you walk around the floor, it's like a museum inside the show too. You can walk by tables and you can see an old baseball glove to a World Series trophy. You can see different things that just to take the national in. You go there to look at all the collectibles, purchase what you like, and just view everything else that's there. Like you said, you walk by Heritage's booth or any other big booth that's there, and your mouth falls open. What you see? It's a museum that pops up for 7 days and goes away.
And Jim, there's nothing like that. And obviously, Heritage Great Auction is something you can go online and find anything, but there's nothing like seeing it. Maybe even getting a chance to hold it. Talk to the person, talk to a Derek Grady face to face. That's always a highlight for me.
There's a big line.
Right. You should have your own booth with Pete Crow Armstrong and Giannis there. But that's the beauty of it. It's like a big ass card store. You know what I mean? It's old school, but it's new school. So,
the other interesting thing is the scale up, right? Everybody. So to Derek's point, you go back 10 and 15 years ago when he's talking about the tumbleweeds down the aisleways on Sundays. There were people looking to liquidate, get out, sell everything. It's the opposite now. Everyone's looking to scale up. The amount of buyers, like when you used to go into a show 10 and 15 years ago, if you walked out and you wanted to sell something and you got 50 cents on a dollar, you did really, really well. Now there's a competition. People are fighting to pay you 80, 90, 100. Some guys are even speccing and paying over 100% of recent comps if the card quality is there. Couple real quick points. I know we got to wrap up soon, but the corporate activations, it's a dealer-based show, but the corporates also bring an element for the customers that are super important. They do an amazing job. We have 49 corporate partners. Everybody's participating. If you bought a VIP bag, you're going to make money on your VIP bag. It's amazing the gifts that are being put in there, the promos, the national only items that are being put in there. We constantly every year are scaling this part of the show up. Jimmy, Brian, and myself will be out there on July 22nd. We'll be out there a full 8 days before anybody else comes in, just because of the level of build out that this show has become. We've got to oversee the operations of that. It's a lot of pulling the curtain back that people don't realize. But it's really, really exciting to see all of the energy and every company, like I said, scaling up and reinvesting, taking what they need, for to support their businesses, but then just pumping it right back into the business, and growing it, scaling. It's really just fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Shane, this has been pretty eye-opening for you then, seeing this event and participating.
Yeah, it's a fire hose, right? To come in to the marquee event. I had a really great opportunity to be in Philly to see that one functioning. And as it was alluded to, the fact the Eagles won the Super Bowl right before the show happened, and we made some adjustments, if you will, on celebrity appearances to great effect. That was a great opportunity, but I'm prepared to be in awe.
It's mind-boggling. Brian, any final words?
Bring your cards, bring your money, and bring more cards or bring more money. That's simple.
Speaking of which, Derek, you are going to be co-hosting with yours truly hour number 2. Be nice gesture in your part to bring some
I will
giveaways.
bring some stuff. I'm trying to bring the Kardashians with me. They haven't gotten back to me yet. Maybe I'll have Shane reach out to them.
We've
But
got our Great American.
We'll bring
Between
them.
your PR firm and me, we'll make it
Yeah, we'll
happen.
figure it out. We'll get
And
them
of
on.
course, we have our Great American Collectibles tension balls that we're going to be throwing out again. If you remember those.
Just as long as we can give away your books, because
Hey,
those
Tom,
are the
Tom,
hottest.
one last thing I want to make sure everybody knows is the website's nsccshow.com. We still have daily tickets, which are $30.
Yep.
But the real bonus, the VIP tickets are completely sold out. They'll go back on sale for 2026 at the end of Black Friday, right? But what we do have where there's real value, if you want to get the extra time on the floor, for even if you're going to go to the show for 2 days, I recommend buying the 5-day pass, and I'll tell you why. You get in an hour early. You beat all those crowds. Just that fact alone, just those extra 2 hours, you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish. So
That's huge.
2 passes we have on the website, nsccshow.com, are the daily pass for $30, which is probably arguably hands down the best value in our industry. If you compare other regional shows to what they charge for admission to what the national charges. And then the 5-day pass is such a deal at $150 just for that hour. I mean, if you're going for 2, 3, or 4 days, it's a no-brainer to
Very cool. Very cool. And remember, we're going to be broadcasting on Friday from 1 to 3 on the main stage. Come by, say hi. Looking forward to it. And the other thing that I'm really looking forward to is, since day one for the last 15 years, Ellen and I on Friday night have gone out every year with Joe Orlando for dinner. It's been kind of a tradition since he wrote the first book with us. And we go to Gibson's. And this year, it's his turn to pay. Very, very thrilled. With that being said, I'm sorry?
He didn't dump you yet. He's still honoring this tradition. It's amazing.
He is. Hey, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys at the National. This is going to be a mind-blowing National this year. I think this is going to be the biggest and the best ever. With that being said, Joe, Brian, Shane, Jimmy, Derek, that's right. JM, thanks for jumping in. Rico is on the golf course as we speak, of course, and he sends his regards to all of you guys. With that being said, we love you guys. See you at the National, and happy collecting.
See you at the show.
Thanks, guys.
Good.
See you soon, guys.